everyone and welcome to my channel. That is the way that I'm going to start this one because I'm doing this video in the hopes that new people are seeing it. So I thought we would do this video because this was the first ever video I did on my YouTube channel and it's still seeming to be a little bit popular and it is embarrassing, outdated, and just cringy to watch because it's my first ever one. I haven't got a clue how to talk to the camera. I'm still in the hating of my voice phase and the majority of the time I just go, yeah. So please don't go back and watch it. It is embarrassing and that's what this video is for. It's to replace the old one. I thought it would be a good idea for people who haven't been around for ages and haven't watched that video and just anybody new to the channel. I thought I'd do 12 facts about me because it's my channel and we could just talk through things that like relate to the videos that I do. I've tried to make them all like relevant, things that you need to know for like other videos, so I thought it'd be like a nice little welcome video to my channel if you found me through like a Gymshark haul or the Lanzarote video. Like I feel like it's just a good thing to be like, who is this person that I've decided to subscribe to or watch, but subscribe, and who is it? And yeah, I just felt like this is a good time to introduce myself a little bit more, go through some facts, and most importantly, make that old video irrelevant because it was 5 years, I think it was 5 years ago, 2018, 4 years ago, I think. Who knows? But it's just a little bit cringy and we need to stop watching it. So here we are. Hello, it's me. We're doing 12 facts about me. I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as possible because another thing you should probably know about me is I tend to chat a lot and I also tend to make my videos far too long. They end up all being like an hour. And not all of them, please don't be scared away, but a lot of them are longer than they need to be. So let me get to the notes and we can start the interesting facts. I'm not going to lie, they're not all interesting. They're just things about me that I think you need to know. Okay, first things first. I don't want to say first things first. One of the most important things that I need to know is Oakley. So, is he going to come here? Oakley, do you want to come on? Oh, come on, a little bit more. So, this is Oakley. He is my, yeah, I know that's you on the screen, isn't it? This is my 1.5-year-old Cocker Spaniel. I'm still going to call him Puppy. And there is a lot of videos that he is involved in. You'll hear him in the background of the majority of the videos, even if it's not about him, because he has separation anxiety and he wants to be around his mom too much. So I'm going to let him off so he doesn't get stressed. Off. Good job. You'll hear him clackering about and knocking the tripod like he just did. So yeah, that was the first fact. I have a dog named Oakley. And the second part of that is who I find more difficult than anything I've ever had in my life. I struggle, Yeah, I struggle a lot with him and I think I'm going to do another video on this soon for subscribers. But it hasn't been an easy road, I'm not going to lie. Ever since I got... I've let him up once, off. Ever since I started to upload things about Oakley, I've had a lot of hatred for the stuff that I do with Oakley and also even just not about online stuff. I just struggle in general with him. So I do a lot of content about him, but all of that comes with the caveat of being like, this is the most difficult thing that I've ever had to do in my life, owning a dog. So there are loads of other videos. I think there's a playlist, so I'll link the playlist above. If you want to find out more about that, go watch them, but I'm also going to do a few videos coming up about that soon. Second fact. I'm a bit worried why this was the second fact and Oakley was the first fact, but I have been with my boyfriend Jack for 11 years in July. We met when we were in school and you see him a lot in my videos because he is with me every single day. We live together and we have for 5 years, just gone in February. So we've been together quite a long time. We met when I was finishing year 9 and he was finishing year 10, so we were kind of like high school sweethearts, which is kind of cute. But yeah, we've been together a long time. Our 10-year anniversary vlog is also available because we went to Lanzarote for our 10-year anniversary. And yeah, still in love with him. It's 11 years and he is the best thing in my life. So that is Jack. Third fact that I think is pretty important because it comes across in a lot of my videos because a lot of my content is fitness, and this relates to my fitness journey a lot, is that I'm in recovery for an eating disorder and body dysmorphia. I don't want to go into it in too much depth because I know a lot of people can't watch that kind of stuff, and I don't want to make this video that kind of thing where you can't watch it. So I'm in recovery, I'm doing okay. I have a series on at the minute called Time to Grow, where I'm documenting my recovery and also trying to put on some muscle, so you can watch them if you are interested in that kind of stuff. But it does affect everything, so it is an important fact to know. I don't always talk about it, but I do talk about it a lot in the Time to Grow series. So yeah. Fact number 4 is that I struggle with loneliness a lot, and I struggle with only having a few friends. I thought I'd group this in with the BD stuff because it's a little bit like sad and we can just get that over with, but I do very, very much struggle with loneliness. I don't have kind of any best friends that I see on a regular or talk to on a regular basis. I have some really good friends, but we aren't like in contact all the time, which is something that's kind of important for me for like a best friend. So I struggle with loneliness a lot, and I try not to talk about it too much on the channel because it's really sad, isn't it? But I do like to talk about it a little bit because I know a lot of people struggle with it, especially people like in their 20s who don't have a lot of friends like me. And a lot of people have said to me that they find it comforting and know that people are in the same boat, because I think everybody just sees everybody as like living their best life in the 20s, and everybody's got it all together and everyone's got friends to go do stuff with. So it can be good to know that other people aren't necessarily in that boat. So I do struggle with it a lot. A lot of my bad mental health comes from that, and I'm hoping to try and fix it. I'm on like things like Bumble BFF. I'm always on the lookout for people saying they want to make friends. I'm in a Facebook group called Girls Who Graduate, and whenever there's a post on there about people feeling lonely, I'll comment and try and make as many friends as I can. But I do struggle with it, and I'm trying to get better with it. Also, these are kind of all in a bit of a random order from now on, so I do apologise if they just feel a bit all over the place, but it's kind of my head. So, fact number 5, I'm going to read this in case I get it wrong. So, I've had 7 career changes already, and I'm only 24. It does seem a bit drastic when it says 7, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go through them all, and this is just actual jobs that I've done in terms of like, well, like career jobs, things that I've got into with the aim of trying to make a living out of it, not stuff like waitressing jobs, because I've had a ton of waitressing and retail jobs as well. So at school, I'm going to go through them just because I can. At school, I applied to go to uni for graphic design, didn't do that, dropped out of 6th form a year and a half in. Anyway, that's another story. Then I went into digital marketing. I did a year's apprenticeship at a law firm. I absolutely loved that company, but I didn't want to do digital marketing. I'm also really glad that I did that because I got to do little aspects of graphic design in there, and I didn't like it. So I'm glad that I didn't go to uni to do that. Next, I went into personal training. I did a 6-week qualification and literally went like straight from that, the apprenticeship, to my training to a job. So it was like a very quick changeover. But then I did personal training. Then when I was personal training, I decided to go more into the mental health side of it. I went to college to try and be able to get to uni. I went to uni with the idea of becoming a sports psychologist or a health exercise psychologist. That's the word that I meant. Went to uni with that idea. About halfway through uni, realised that I didn't want to do that because where I live, like in the northeast, it's just not really a good area for it. The only places that you can go are like Loughborough and stuff like that, and I didn't want to move there. So then I changed my mind to do educational psychology. Started doing all of the units at uni to do educational psychology, like developmental, infant psychology, things like that. Also did like a ton of work experience to try and go into that field. Started doing the work experience, decided I didn't want to work in schools because I absolutely despise the educational system. Then I decided I was going to do photography. Throughout all this, I started YouTube the first year of uni, so that was kind of when I thought I was going to be sports psychology. But in between 2nd and 3rd year, I started doing photography. I started becoming a second shooter on weddings for a family friend who's a wedding photographer. Decided that's what I was going to do, so I had to do my 3rd year with no motivation to do psychology at all, which was interesting. So decided I was going to do photography. that kind of hasn't finished. I'm still doing photography, but I've kind of put that on the back burner to try and do YouTube, which is going to be my next point. And that's, I really am trying to make YouTube my full-time job. I have mentioned it on the channel before, so if you're a subscriber, you'll have heard this already. But basically, I've kind of, between uni, because I finished uni in lockdown, like literally I came home from my 3rd year Easter holiday when lockdown started, so I finished uni completely in lockdown. From then to the beginning of this year, I've kind of been trying to do everything. Like I've been trying to do YouTube, I've been trying to do photography, and it's just, I think not having a clear strategy for me has made me feel more burnt out than anything. So this year I have told myself I'm not going to do photography unless I feel like it, unless I want to do it. But my main focus is going to be social media, so YouTube, Instagram, mainly YouTube, and I'm starting to do some TikToks now. But yeah, I really want this to happen. I absolutely love doing YouTube. Like, I love it. It gives me such opportunities that I never ever would have done before, and hopefully I'll talk about all that kind of side of it another time, because it kind of requires something else for me to talk about that kind of stuff. But I am really trying to become bigger on YouTube. I kind of set myself a goal of hitting 5,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I don't know whether it's going to happen, but I said if I don't hit 5,000, I'll kind of put YouTube not on a back burner, but I'll step back from it and then more focus on photography. So I had all those career changes, and also the other fact about I am trying to make YouTube my full-time job, and I really hope it happens because I absolutely love it. Fact number 7 is I went from never exercising in my life to doing weight training at the age of 17, and they're the kind of only 2 things that I've ever done. When I say exercising, I kind of mean like, what are you doing? Oh, you broke your rabbit. That's your Easter toy. I kind of mean it with an aim. So I've done a few like runs and a few, sorry, he's got a sleep toy. And a few bike rides from like being younger, but I never properly exercised. I didn't even properly exercise in PE, like I never did it. And then when I was 17, my friend Jack from school, not my partner Jack, a different Jack, he took me to the gym with him to do weights. I'd been to a gym like maybe like 4 times before and all I ever did was cardio, but he took me to like a proper old school bodybuilder's gym to do weights, and then I just kind of never stopped. I'm not saying I did it properly from the time Jack took me, but I did it okay. His mum was a personal trainer, so he kind of knew what he was doing, and I loved it. I really enjoyed it, and from there I've never really stopped for a long period of time. I only started properly doing it my first year of uni, really. Even when I was a personal trainer, I didn't do it properly. There's a load of reasoning behind that, but and when I was at the apprenticeship, I did go quite a lot, but I would never say that I lifted properly. I didn't track my weights, I didn't do anything. So yeah, it literally went from like nothing to all of it all at once, and I feel like it's quite interesting with that, because a lot of personal trainers, like when you read their PT board at the gyms and stuff, it's like, I've always been a sporty kid, I've always been interested in sports. Not me. I don't like any kind of sports whatever. When people hear I'm a personal trainer, they're normally like, oh, what kind of sports do you like? And I'm like, I don't like any sports. I lift weights, I teach weights, and that's kind of it for me. I'm not a sporty gal. Okay, I didn't know how to phrase this one, fact number 8. It's a little bit, I don't know, but what I've wrote down is I am a far leftist. And by that, I mean I am LGBTQ, I am pro-BLM, I will fight for women's rights till the day I die, I believe in ACAB, I despise the Tories with an absolute passion, and I believe sex education should be taught in schools from the moment you step foot in schools, things like that. I think that's what a leftist is. But I very much am a leftist, and if you don't like that and you don't want to watch somebody who has those values, I'm not your gal. Like, that is me to the heart, and I'll fight for the things I believe in till the day I die. I'm pretty confident. So if those values don't align with you, you are welcome to not watch any of my videos, but just know that's who I am, and I will not stand for anybody saying any crappy stuff on my videos. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there and just leave if you're not... Oh, I'm pro-choice. I don't like pro-choice. It's either choice or anti-choice, I think. Pro-choice, like all those kind of things, I'm on the left-hand side of them. Oh, and on the lead on to that, on fact 9 is I am pansexual. I did a full video on this for Pride Month this last year, I think. So I'll link that above. But I am pansexual, which means that I couldn't care less about gender. I stand on the side of the fence that that is, I do find myself different from bisexual. I know there's a bit of controversy within the LGBTQ kind of community, but I do see it as different to bisexuality because I don't even see gender as a factor in terms of who I'm attracted to. I always thought everybody was like this, but apparently that's not true. I don't see gender and be like, oh, that's a female I'm attracted to, or oh, that's a non-binary person I'm attracted. I literally don't even see it, and it's not even a thought in my mind. But if you want to go know more about that, I will leave the link above. Fact number 10 is I have Irlen syndrome, and I am also awaiting diagnosis for a couple of other disorders, which I'm not comfortable talking about at the minute. I will be, hopefully, at some point, and I will be more than happy to talk about it, but right now I'm not comfortable talking about it. But I will talk about Irlen syndrome because I've been diagnosed with that. I've done quite a few videos on it, and I love talking about it. So Irlen syndrome is a visual processing disorder. It's kind of like dyslexia, but it's not a reading disorder, it's a visual processing disorder that affects my reading. It's similar to dyslexia in terms of the symptoms, as in, like, I really struggle reading, and I have loads of different types. Like, sometimes the words slant for me. I have rivers quite a lot, which is where the white spaces in between words like come up at me and flash at me, so I struggle to see the actual words. And I also have problems with stuff like depth perception, brightness. Brightness is the one that really affects me. So on days where it's like overcast, I really struggle to go outside because of how bright it is. And I struggle with like fluorescent lighting and stuff. So there's loads of things within it, but the main thing is kind of reading. And I only got diagnosed with that when I was in year 2 of uni. Again, I've done videos on this, so I'll leave them above or in the description box if I've run out of cards. But yeah, I have a few disorders, and I'm willing to talk about Irlen syndrome as much as people want. So if you want to know more about that, just let me know. Number 11. Again, you can probably tell with this one that I'm trying to do facts that relate to the videos that I do. And it is, I have always struggled with my own style and clothes. So I absolutely love doing haul/outfit videos because they let me like try out things that I would never ever have tried out before. I've always never bought my own clothes. Like, I've just had stuff that my grandparents give me, or like I'll just grab the first thing that I see before I started YouTube. And YouTube's made me think more about outfits, and I love that. Like, I absolutely love that it's given me the confidence or the excuse of buying outfits and trying to put together outfits. I never would have done that without YouTube, and I absolutely love being able to do that. I have talked about sustainability and stuff like that of hauls. I'm not saying that I do loads of hauls with the aim of like not using the clothes or sending them all back. Again, I've done a video on sustainability, so I'll leave it above. But I love thinking about it more and being able to think about what I kind of like. So I absolutely love doing that type of content. I don't do it all the time, but I love it. Last fact is kind of going back down to basics, and it is that I am from the northeast of England, and I come from a working class background. So I'm from Northumberland. If you don't know where that is, because I got a shock when I went to uni that a lot of people don't know where it is the county between Newcastle and Scotland. So again, some people think Newcastle's right next to Scotland. It's not. There's a whole big ass county between it. It's like the 3rd biggest county in the UK. Or England, one of them. I imagine it's probably England because Scotland's huge. So it is the 3rd, we'll go with England, 3rd biggest county in England. And I have grown up here. I am currently living quite close to where I grew up, actually. I moved a little bit like further south, and then also I went to York for uni. But we've moved back to be closer to our business, which should have been a fact probably. So I'll leave it there. I'll not talk too much about the business, but we've moved to be closer to that business. And Northumberland is absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful county. I don't think I'll stay here my entire life, but I am from the northeast of England, and the working class background is a big part of who I am in terms of the way I think about a lot of things. I don't see myself as working class, or I never thought about my working class background until I went to uni. We honestly, like, if you're not from up here, you probably don't even know like this is a thing, because I was blown away when I went to uni. We never ever talk about the different classes up here. I was so shocked when I went to uni and people started talking about classes. Like, I remember one of my friends from uni, she mentioned that she was middle class in a conversation, and I literally was like, what? I was literally like, oh my god, there's classes? Well, I'm working class. Like, it literally hadn't, no one ever talks about it up here because we're pretty much all working class. And if, it's kind of like a flip side up here, if you're middle class or upper class, you kind of stay away from the working class because the working class tend to take the piss out of the middle class. So it was something I'd never ever thought about, and I never really understood how much it affected me until I went somewhere where I was the minority, because obviously, like I said, we're all working class here. But then I went to a Russell Group uni, and I think I met one other person who was working class, and it was the strangest thing in the world, because you don't, and this isn't me having a go at middle class people or upper class people. I wouldn't discriminate to someone who was middle class, which is different from a lot of people from up here. But I didn't realise how much of a benefit the rest of the country had where the majority of people were middle class or upper class, because there are so many fewer opportunities where I'm from, and I hadn't even thought about how I was starting off on a worse off foot than a lot of people in the country, because this is everybody up here. I mean, there are 100% different levels of wealth within the working class kind of community, I want to say, because there are people who can afford certain stuff. I came from kind of like a lower working class family, with little aspects of kind of like a higher, like my grandparents were a bit higher than my parents. It's all a different thing, and it's not really anything I've talked about on the channel before, but it does impact you so much, and I wish I'd been taught about that, because I used to kick myself, especially with like social media and stuff. I used to kick myself and feel so minging about the fact that I couldn't do, but I couldn't afford to do the same thing that loads of other people were doing on social media, and like things that I couldn't buy. And because we have that everywhere. Like in middle school, people used to get presents for passing their kind of exams, and I didn't, because my family didn't have that kind of money, and there was always that kind of thing. But social media takes it to another level, and then when I kind of realized I came from this background, I was like, oh my god, like I need to stop kicking myself for not being able to do stuff, because it's that I don't have the advantages that a lot of people do, where they have their parents to give them some kind of funds, where my family didn't have that. So I'm not like, I want to talk about it more because it influences things a lot. Like it does. There's no matter of fact about it. Working class people are better off than middle class people, and the northeast is a lot worse off than the rest of the country. And you might want to argue with me on that if you're not from here, but I think a lot of people agree with that here. So it is a big thing, and I'm willing to have conversations about it, and I would like to talk about it more. So if it's something you're interested in me talking about, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, it does influence a lot of stuff. And that is the 12 facts. I rambled on for a lot more than I thought I was going to. I'm really, really sorry if you are bored by this. It's probably not the channel for you if you are. But they're the 12 facts about me. I thought they were a good kind of overview if it is the first kind of video that you're watching it for me rather than like for a Gymshark haul. So that is going to end the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please make sure to leave it a like. Like I said, I am trying to make it on YouTube, and the more interaction with videos helps like my channel be seen by other people. So basically, like if you like it, there's more chance that I'm going to show up on like people's other suggested videos and things like that. So any interactions would be great. Like, subscribe, comment, follow me on Instagram, things like that would be beautiful. But please don't feel too much pressure to do it. Make sure you follow me over on Instagram, and yeah, I'm gonna stop talking, I'm gonna stop rambling. I struggle with closing things off. It's an extra fact for you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in so many more videos. I hope you want to subscribe and be part of my channel, and yeah, thank you so much, and I shall see you in another one. Bye.